Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I'm Richard Vobes and I've been off the channel for, well, it feels like forever. I've had another 1 week ban. You may have noticed my absence, and then prior to that there was another 1 week ban. In fact, I was only back for something like 3 days, and then YouTube in its great wisdom found a video that was unlisted, had yet been published, and decided that it contained misinformation, and as a result of that decided to ban me. During the ban, in fact on the penultimate day before I could upload this video, so in other words yesterday, I discovered they had stopped the ability to earn money. I don't want to use that word demonetization, because you know what it's like with people in the truth movement. They split words up and find hidden meanings in the words. So if you do that, it means you've become demonetized. Not demonetized, but you've been demonetized. I don't want to be a demon. I'm not a demon. So I'm avoiding that word altogether. But anyway, they have stopped me from earning, which is a bit of a shame. Anyway, so I now want to say a big thank you to all those wonderful people who saw my video on the temporary channel that I was using, the Vobe Show channel, who have come forward and made some extremely generous donations, and I'd just like to say thank you so much. That is so kind. One thing out of all of this is, I suppose, it is actually, so I'm just trying to avoid the sun being in the lens. One thing that is the silver lining, if you like, in this is simply that it's probably quite nice not to be at the mercy of a large corporation like YouTube and rely on their payments. I mean, it's a very strange system. You couldn't go to the bank manager, for example, and say, I've got this business idea, I'll go and do YouTube videos, I'll talk about a subject or demonstrate a subject, or I'll show people how to do something, and you don't know how many people are ever going to watch, you don't know who YouTube will pump it out to, you don't know really what kind of income you'll ever get from it. It is a nonsense idea. Also, the other thing I've got to mention is, of course, that my channel now is clearly in the crosshairs, not just of YouTube, but presumably those people who lean on YouTube, the WHO and the WEF and others, who don't want certain narratives out. Now that is difficult, because you used to think that this was a platform that anybody could use, and free speech was an important thing. And I think we're all beginning to realise that free speech is very much curtailed, especially if it goes against the narrative that governments around the world, or indeed a one world government, wants to have. And so that means I'm going to have to be extremely cautious with the content, which, if you're in the movement that I am in and you're trying to get information out, very important information, such as things like food security and perhaps the worry that 5G might have for us all, and other medical ideas, suggestions, cautions, then it becomes very difficult if you're going to have videos taken off, or indeed the channel. Now, you continually hear of people whose channels have been removed, and all that content disappears and you can't get it back. Now, luckily, I have saved all the content, the master files anyway, so I have them all safe, but it would be a pain to sort of upload them somewhere else, of course. But I would rather keep the channel up and running so that some of the stuff historically that I've done, there's footage of my father when he was suffering from dementia. That might be useful to other people to see how dementia progresses and how difficult it can be to communicate. There's many of my heritage, landscape and nature videos that I've done in the past, which people do occasionally look up if they're going to a certain place, so I'd like those to stay, of course. And there's much of the worry and the discussion of recent times that I've been questioning whether the government are on our side, whether the policies that they have are human policies, and whether the government is actually working for the people, or it's just working as a corporation, a for-profit business registered on places like Dun & Bradstreet. So I'd like that wealth of questioning, and of course the various marvellous and inspiring guests that I've had on the show. I'd like them to continue to be available for people to watch, because there's lots of interesting health and well-being messages there, the story of money creation, the concern of all sorts of different things that are going on. So ultimately I've got to be a little bit cautious now. So what do you do? Well, I know that people like Russell Brand will put a snippet on YouTube which is relatively safe. I just better turn the camera away from the school here. And then he'll put his main content on Rumble. And I think that's probably what I will do. It means that my guests can talk more freely, and I can put a sort of an advert on YouTube. I mean, it's not monetized, so the incentive for it to be on YouTube is now removed from a financial point of view, but it was really never about the money. As I explained in a previous video, they're going to put adverts on and make money from you anyway, YouTube. That's their policy. So you may as well take what you're entitled to. But it was never about that. It was about getting the message out, despite what a number of critics will say. And I have been on a journey, of course, like so many others, going down these different rabbit holes, trying to assess what's true, what's not true, what's likely, what we're going to do in the future. One of those things, of course, at the moment is food security. And it is a huge shame. I think I might just go through the park here if I can get across. It's a huge shame that I'm going to dive across here. People don't seem to take that terribly seriously. I'm sure people watching this will, but the general public don't seem to. Maybe they're just unaware of it and they're not really thinking about it. It's just nice to go through the park, isn't it? A bit of countryside here, try and avoid all the traffic and a bit of peace and silence. I think I'll just walk around the edge here though, as it's quite well populated, a bit dark in this area, so I hope you can see me all right, although GoPro works pretty well in low light. So yes, food security is going to be very, very tricky for us, I think, in the upcoming months, and I want to be able to report on that, advise and help through different guests, people like Mark Byford, who is very much on the pulse, because he's a farmer, the bowler-hatted farmer, of course, as his handle is, and we need to worry about our food security, what we're going to do in the future, where we're going to get our food from. We need to start growing. We know, for example, that there is a huge push to get rid of animals and a movement towards synthetic food. And yet if you tell members of the public this, who are not in the know, they will scoff and think that that's nonsense. But we know how this all works. and these nudges will be in there too. I mean, you may have seen it so much, you know, plant-based food or vegan being pushed down at you. Now, I've got no problem with anyone being a vegan, of course. People can be whatever they want, but it's the relentless nudging into certain area, a narrative that you're almost unaware of being pushed on you. It's coming out into the wider part of the park here, which is I notice that we have blue skies, and yet there are the faint signs of the chemtrails up there. Relentless they are, and of course it's the chemtrails which are dropping all sorts of stuff on the farmland to make the crops not grow as much as they want, and the blocking of the sky. We've seen that. So again, that's a narrative. I don't know what they're doing in here. They are a whole load of people in fluorescent jackets building something in the park. You probably can't see, it's quite far in the distance, but they've got diggers. And I noticed, I came for a walk in the park yesterday actually, and they have labelled up, now I don't know whether this is sinister and whether this is anything really to worry you guys, but where I am, they had sprayed on the ground oblong areas. I wondered if they're just digging holes for 5G towers. These seem to be popping up all over the bloody place, and you've got the hospital just beyond this hedge here, and I'm wondering if they are putting up some kind of 5G interface around the hospital. So that's quite interesting. They've got a digger on this vehicle. I'm just going to go and pass that, see what they're up to. They did look at me, because they could see I was filming, as I was just walking through now talking to you. So that's interesting. So who knows? If anybody knows what's going on, then do let me know. Anyway, so really and truly, this is what I'm trying to get to on this video, is to explain that I think I've got to protect the channel from just disappearing, concentrate with the full interviews on places like Rumble. Here we go. Together to zero. Is that net zero? Is that what that means? Together to zero. Hemico.com. So they've got a digger here. They're going to dig up something, and just slightly concerned that that is the 5G going in. So anyway, that's interesting in and of itself, and you may see these sort of things going on around you. They have yet to get the infrastructure up there. I've seen videos in which people have said, actually, our mobile phones do not have a 5G chip in them. Some of the phones say they're 5G ready, but they don't have a chip in them. And so it makes you wonder, well, if there's no 5G chip in the mobile phones at the moment, what's it for? I think we know what it's for, and there is nefarious reasons which I daren't mention now on this channel, in case YouTube decide to say that's misinformation. So there we go. Right, I shall make my way back home now, and I will leave you to your day. Thank you very much for watching, and again, a big thank you for all the donations, all the support, all the emails. The old Vogue Show channel, I'm thinking I may well use that to read some of the emails out that I get. Obviously, that's now had a warning on. People said, well, could you not monetize that? To be honest, the freedom of not being paid by any kind of corporate is actually quite good. I did speak to a contact that I have, and thought, well, actually, wouldn't it be great if people who do want to support what I do were able to buy some sort of voucher, and we turn that into silver, so that people could pay me, so you're out of the fiat currency altogether. So I'm looking at different ways of keeping the channel going. Anyway, I'm going to head back home now, so thank you for watching. Do take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.